Welcome back to Makeup Tip Tuesday. Holy moly, it has been a hot minute. For those of you that are new to MisMacK or just joining us either from the Grey Cup or nationwide, welcome to MisMacK. So we started Makeup Tip Tuesday when I was in my basement 7 years ago. And looking back at the stats is crazy. We've had over 300 videos that have been posted over the last 7 years. And due to really big demand, I am going to be bringing these back. So welcome back to Makeup Tip Tuesday, our very first debut. So in a very long time. Now we're coming up to the first Makeup Tip Tuesday, which is actually right before our biggest sale of MisMacK's history. I started this in 2020 with 20% off, 2021 was 21% off, 2022, 2023, last year is 2024, so 24% off, and this year is 25% off. So what was I gonna do for my debut? This is like, I had so many things in my head, but I wanted to bring it back to if I had to pick a face in a case, what would be my personal face in a case? The colors that I could not live without. It took a hot moment, I'm not gonna lie, but here we are. This is my personal face in a case. These are colors that I literally cannot live without if I'm doing just a simple makeup to a little bit more glam, but nowadays, now that I'm 40 and fabulous, I have been simplifying my makeup a little bit more, minus the Grey Cup with all the glitter. That was for special events, but here we go. So my face in a case is Salmon. I literally cannot live without this one. Blossom for my cheeks and on my eyes, Shade for my eyes and my contour, and Stone, which I'm gonna tightline with, as well as my brows. So these are the 4 colors that if I had to choose out of all 24 colors down to a face in a case, this would be my go-to everyday face in a case. So I'm gonna show you how I do my makeup super fast, 5 minutes, when I'm just doing it every day. So brushes are really important. If I had to pick 4 brushes besides my foundation and my setting powder, these would be my 4 brushes that I would choose. The all over blending, because I'm gonna use it also for my crease. I'm going to wipe it off and I'm gonna use it for my under eye brightener. Angled brush for my tight lining as well as my brows. Contour and my soft blending brush for my blush. So those are the 4 brushes that I literally cannot live without. All right. Take a brief little coffee break here. And let's get into it. Okay. All right. So starting off, I do already have my foundation on and I do have my Depuff and Prime. Usually when I'm at home, because I left the house, I wanted to just be a little bit more camera ready. I usually do my eyes first. So starting with my skincare, so I have my oil on, and then I do my Depuff and Prime, and I'm gonna let it get tacky, and I'm gonna go right into Salmon. Now, hot tip, as you use this, she can kind of get a little bit of a film. So I'm gonna take the back of my brush, and I'm going to do little circles just to loosen some pigment, pick it up, tap off. Okay, tilting my chin back. I start in the very inner corner to neutralize the darkness that I have in my dark circles. Now, if you are, I'm gonna say like an MM4 and below, you're gonna wanna mix this with Canvas. She is one color that is still back ordered. They have put a rush on it. Mix it with a little bit of Canvas if it's showing up too peachy. So on me, because I'm coming into my winter season, I will be a full-fledged 4 pretty soon. It looks pretty peachy, but that's okay, because I'm gonna go in with Shade, or AKA Kamloops, and add a little bit of definition. So when I am doing this, I'm really making sure it is blended, nice and opaque, giving a couple extra layers into my crease, making sure that I'm right into this inner corner. This little guy gets forgotten, okay? That is a really important part. And then your fingers are your erasers, okay? That's going to help blend any of the edges. And I'm just kind of like lightly, softly patting to blend that out. What a difference that makes already. We're gonna go in and do the other side. So starting in that inner corner, I kind of wiggle the brush, especially if you have a little bit more of a looser skin in this inner corner. Doing little circles will get into all the little nooks and crannies, help to neutralize the darkness we have in there. And then we're gonna blend up. So you can see how I'm doing this pretty fast. Like this is like my 5-minute face. This is just my easy go-to when I'm having a day off or if I'm working on the computer, which I do a lot more these days. This is super simple, okay? Done. Step 1. Step 2, I'm just gonna lightly take this off. And we're gonna go into, actually, do you know what? We are gonna add another brush. Thinking about my at home, I do the crease brush, the small crease brush. I do actually can't live without this. Okay, so small crease brush going into shade. I'm gonna lightly go back and forth behind my eyeball. So really hugging this in, where if I was to push this right back there, you can't see the brush. It's hugging behind the physical curvature of my eyeball. And I'm going back and forth. Now, little tricks. Now that we are fabulous and 40, take a moment there. We wanna make sure that we're using matte shades. It has come to my attention that it actually doesn't clarify on our website of which is matte and which is shimmer. Some of them you can zoom in and you can see. That is something that we will be working on. If you ever see something on our website that needs attention, please let us know. This is a huge ongoing uphill battle with this site of making sure that it works and functions properly. Yeah, so if you ever see anything, just please let me know so we can bring it to our website team and get them to update it as much as possible. All right, and then coming up. So again, this is really, really soft. Really blending to make sure that we have like a halo effect. And then starting on the other side. So when I go to the other side, I'm starting on that outside edge of my eyeball, leaving my lid space. So the lid space is between your lash line. Skip the lid, that's the lid, hugging it behind. It's right where that line is. We all have that last fold of the skin before our crease. Or before our lid, depends on how you look at it. So it's that last fold before our lid. So layering back and forth. Like I say, this is my 5-minute quick face with my face in a case. I would rather start off light and then work my way up, making sure that they are nice and even. Now, another little trick that I'll do, I can see that this one's a little bit more pungent of peachiness compared to this guy. I'm okay with it right now. Because I'm gonna go over it with a little bit of blossom, just a little bit of blossom, it's going to feather it away. The other option you could do is you can go back in with salmon and just have a really nice peachy matte lid that's so pretty for mature skin. I just love, love, love a nice matte, like nude skin tone on the lid. It's really pretty. Okay. Sometimes what I'll do is now, if I'm not feeling like I want to get a little bit more detailed, I'm going to take a little bit of that shade and buff underneath very lightly, starting from the outside, back and forth. Okay. Taking that same brush, I'm going to go into stone and I'm going to lightly dab on that outside edge of my corner. Now, this is a really hot tip. Making sure that that brush is really into the bottom of your lashes, okay? So see how the brush is really more into my lashes than on the lid? There's no line that skips, and we're tapping. What can really easily happen is you want to like push this over. Don't do that. We're gonna tap, 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 tap to diffuse the edge. Just to give that little bit of a lift. We're gonna do the same to the other side. Okay, now my angle on this side is very important. I'm not starting here. I'm moving the brush so the curvature of the brush lines up with the curvature of my eye, okay? And then tap, tap, tap. That angle is the same. Thinking like you're hugging a ball. And then we're tapping. Like so. Take my middle finger. Sorry, that's not what I meant. And I'm gonna lightly just go back and forth with a little bit of blossom on the center of my lid. Now for tight lining. This is something that I have been doing a lot more as I mature, which to define the lash line. Now I use a lot of cocoa as well, but for this case, we're gonna be using stone because I'm gonna use it on my brows too. Angle brush. I'm going to come up into my tight line and I'm going to do a little wiggle. Ooh. And now really pushing this more into the top, underneath of my lashes. So you can see how I'm like pushing my lashes up, little wiggles, and then down. So see how that just like nicely defines the eye compared to a full lid look of a line. And then to kind of balance the almond shape out, just on the outside edge, I'm just gonna buff it and bring it up and out, just a tiny little bit. Same to the other side. So being more mindful, it's kind of like when you put mascara on, you know, when you go like, you're going right to the base, you're doing that wiggle going up. I'm kind of doing exactly the same thing with my liner. So going in, little wiggles. And then coming out. And that is my quick 5-minute eye. Last but not least is we're gonna do some mascara. Let me grab mine here. This guy I cannot live without. This one, if you are needing mascara, this is your time. I cannot live without our mascara. And she is our #1 seller. So recap, as we all know, we have that serious conversation. Mainstream mascara is the most toxic on the market, sadly. Full of PFAs, faves. You can see it's been a hot moment since I've done this. PFAs, formaldehyde, coal tar dyes, like really harsh chemicals that we're putting around our eyes. And a lot of women come in about, starts about early 40, and be like, I don't know what's going on. My eyes sting and itch and burn every time I wear mascara. I don't know or makeup. I don't know what's going on. So 9 times out of 10, they switched us and they come back and like, oh my God, I can actually wear makeup again. This is amazing. Makeup should not be hurting us, which is why we created it. Okay. I am a lash girly, so I like a fuller lash. You can do this nice and soft. This is my mascara that has sat in the station as I do videos. So she's due for a new one, let's just say. Oh, and I love it. I used to be such a harsh, like, mascara, very picky, from Dior Show to all the things, and I would curl my lashes intensely growing up, to the point that I actually, like, slipped and I ripped half of them out. Don't recommend that ever. And my lashes, if the mascara formula was too heavy, I would spend all this time curling and they'd go flat again, right? We've all experienced that. Not fun. I actually prefer our mascara with my lashes not curled because I can go in and I can really lift them. Oh, see, and this is why we do our eyes first, because you never know what has fallen until you go to wipe. And then a little bit on the bottom. Just a tiny little bit. Remember, rule of thumb, more on the top, less on the bottom. This is my trick, okay? Rules are here. They're made to be broken. This is what Jessica Ray says all the time. Now, I will fully admit, this just stays between us, that I get a little lazy in the morning. It's just like the plumber's plumbing is never done, right? Instead of mixing, because I have okay texture under my eye right now, I don't mix. I am a little bit lazy. I take my brush that I had salmon on. This is also another reason why I grabbed a small crease brush, so I'm not having a different color on here. And I lightly dust. Now, trick is to make sure that you have a layer of foundation underneath coming up. And I lightly tap this very gently over my dark circle. Bare. I know. I'm breaking my own rules. But as I mature, I will be changing this, obviously, or if I'm going out or if I'm needing a little bit more oomph, then I will take the time, but half the time I am running to get to the shop. Pack orders, do all the things. So literally, I just do it nice and soft. Dry, brush, not going basically past my teardrop, like where my tear duct is. Really concentrating it in here, and then I'll lightly dust if need to, and then I'll go back over it with foundation if I'm feeling it. But because, well, this is a 5-minute face, done. Next up, contour. I still do this every day, even if I'm just doing a really soft, fast look. Pick up, in ear, swipe forward, back, and underneath. Pick up, dust off, in the ear, forward. Flip the tip back and under, whoop, and down. Blossom. On my cheeks. So soft blending brush is designed to go with our products, so it picks up less pigment. Gives you a nice veil. Now, because I use this guy as my liner, I don't need to pick up more product. I'm just gonna lightly dust off. I'm gonna go right into my brows with whatever's left in the brush. Boom. I'm all about systemized, easy makeup. And there we have it. In 17 minutes, we have a 5-minute face. So to recap, again, this is my simple go-to if I'm 5 minutes, I just need a quick look with my colors that I can't live without. So recapping, Salmon Arm, Blossom, which is Cherryville, Shade, which is Kamloops, and Stone, which is Smithers. These colors, one way or another, whether I'm doing just like a mascara look, I will still have salmon in my inner, Blossom too on my cheeks, and a little bit of brows. And I still do contour, believe it or not. Like I really do every day. I like that look of a little bit more chiseled face shape. So there you have it. That is my personal face in a case with the brushes that I honestly cannot live without. Is our angled, our contour, our small crease, our olive shadow, and our soft blending. So head on over to our website, go get your cart ready. This is probably the fullest stock that we have ever been for a biggest sale, I'm not gonna lie. The things that we are back ordered on is Canvas, and I think Radiant has just a handful left. But other than that, we are good to go. So go on, get your shopping on. Thank you so much for watching Makeup Tip Tuesday as we are back. If you are needing help with some things, please let me know so I can add it to my content list and I can do a makeup tip just for you. Okay, have a fabulous week, everyone.